first things first. What's going on, guys? Pixelated here, back at it again with another video. Today we are looking at these impossible to get beauties right here. You don't know how excited I was to get these. If you don't know what they are yet, they are the Nike X Off-White SB Blazer Mids. They are one of the 10 sneakers that were debuted as a collaboration between Nike and the high-end streetwear brand Off-White, headed by Virgil Abloh. We all know Virgil Abloh as the designer, often mentioned in Kanye's raps. May have also worked with Kanye in the past. He was also an associate and a friend of Kanye. Some say he went through the Kanye School of Fashion, whatever that means. All I know is I don't buy much clothing from his brand, mainly because it's extremely expensive, and the whole idea behind it is the higher price somewhat leads you to not overstock your closet and have it overflowing, but instead buy one or two pieces that you really like. I don't know how true that is. Still a huge cash grab in a sense if you ask me, but I can understand the ideology behind it. Anyways, back to the sneakers. This collaboration of 10 sneakers was effectively titled The 10, of which the SB Blazer Mid was one of. I've mentioned in my earlier videos, but owner of Off-White Virgil Abloh separated the shoes into two subcategories, one being the revealing, the other being ghosting. I'm not going to get into the themes of these two subcategories, but just Google it and check out what the significance of that is. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool theme for sneakers, considering sometimes sneaker themes can be very tedious, tired out, or lacking in creativity. This one is the complete opposite, and it's probably never been done before. It's a refreshing change of pace versus something like the Michigan Dunks or some holiday themed sneakers like the ugly sweater SB Dunks that are coming out soon. You know what I mean. I don't know, like Spider-Man Chucks or something. Now, before I get started, please feel free to hit the like button and subscribe anytime during the video if you enjoyed it. And with that being said, let's keep it going. I was able to attain my pair through Nike.ca. To find out how, watch till the end of the video. The SB Blazer Mid is a silhouette I was never really a fan of. No knock to Nike, they have plenty of sneakers I love, but the SB Blazer was never really one of them. The SB Blazer is considered a skater shoe, if I recall correctly, and that was the demographic it was aimed towards. I used to love watching skateboarding and the X Games as a kid, and I used to look up to people like Tony Hawk and Rodney Mullen, but never got into skateboarding, and that passion just faded away. As with most passions you have as a kid do, sadly. I also broke my arm rollerblading. Don't ask me why I was rollerblading. I think it was like my gateway to hopefully learning skateboarding, so it put me off to getting on anything with wheels. I think my parents just thought skateboarding was too dangerous, so I tried to get into rollerblading. Anyways, aside from that, even though I was never really a fan of SB Blazers, the ones in this collection definitely caught my eye, and without me saying anything, you can probably figure out why. But before we get into that, I would like to mention that my top three from the collection were actually the Jordan 1s, the Prestos, and the Air Max 90s. But the Blazers definitely caught my eye at first glance. As for sizing, I ended up going half a size down. It wasn't really a choice or an option rather, and you'll understand why later once I get to it. I personally would recommend going true to size. I'm a wide footer, and although the length of these is almost perfect, they're far too narrow to be going half a size down. If I could, I would most definitely swap these for a size 10, which is my true to size. Now, I can wear these pretty comfortably with thin socks, and I have quite a few pairs of thin socks, so I'm not too fazed by it. It's a bearable issue. In the case that you do go half a size down, they actually fit decently if you wear thin socks and don't tighten the laces real hard, but I would still strongly recommend going true to size. If you're a narrow footer, you might actually be able to fit a half a size down more comfortably, but true to size is probably the best bet in general, so just stick to your true to size. Keep in mind, most of the material on this shoe isn't made to break in, so don't expect it to be one of those sneakers that's going to break in either. Let's start off with the inside out box this shoe came in. It has the text Nike swoosh in quotations on top of the box where the Nike swoosh would usually be, so that's pretty self-explanatory. And we have the Nike red box that's usually on the outside on the inside of the box. Speaking of which, let's get into the materials. This is by far the most impressive part of the sneaker because truthfully the color isn't. Then again, the entire collection is based on a muted color palette. Save for the Jordan 1, Presto, and Vapor Max, the upper is constructed of several traditional leather and suede panels. You can see this very soft white leather panel that forms the rear area of the shoe that covers your ankle and heel area. It wraps around from the lateral through to the back of the medial side. Then we have the suede panels that run along and reinforce the eyelets for the laces to go through, with a little suede panel running down the bottom of the medial side of the shoe. We also have a nice brushy suede patch stitched in the top back of the opening of the shoe with Nike embossed in all caps, looking very bold. The rest of the shoe is made of completely off-the-cuff materials which are unique and unexpected. If you look at the bottom heel counter area of the shoe, it is made of this fuzzy material that I can only compare to faux pony hair that you see on other sneakers, except it's white or even potentially translucent with fibers so thin and separated it's particularly hard to tell. It then has this numbering on the top end of the heel that gets overlapped by the surrounding materials. I think this is a very unique touch that will almost always go unseen by most people, but it's probably one of my favorite parts of the shoe because it's such a nuance and forces you to think about the attention to detail gone into making this shoe. It's really refreshing to see because when most sneaker companies collaborate with a designer or any other brand, the collaborations sometimes come off as lazy or uninspired, not much attention to detail, just a new colorway, and would only release maybe 1 or 2 sneakers. To see Virgil Abloh design 10 sneakers and pay as much attention to detail from first sneaker to the last is a truly unique and impressive feat. Continuing on, we have this elongated tongue made of nylon and whatever insulation material they typically use. As you can see, the ends are undone and raw, exposing the insulation in between the outer layers, with the tongue tab stitched onto the right side of the top of the sneaker with the Nike Air text in bold and bleeding red ink just to complete that raw, unfinished vibe. The real star of the shoe is this material right here that makes the toe box. It's like this plastic infused with something else. I promise you, whatever this is made of starts with poly something, and this material is not going to stretch or break in, which is why I recommend going true to size, as the toe box and side panel is made of this material. The most eye-catching detail award, however, goes to the gigantic oversized black swoosh that overlays the side panels of the shoe onto the midsole. It has this orange patch attached to it on the medial side. It's oversized just like the current trend of oversized clothing. Although trends don't last, that may not be the case for this sneaker. We have the signature off-white text that you see on all sneakers in this collection. For this shoe, it reads Off-White CO Nike Blazer Mid in quotations, Beaverton Org, this something 1970s something. Sorry, the swoosh overlays the thing so I can't read. Just kidding, I'm sure you guys can figure out what it says. Finally, we have the reworked off-white midsole, no pun intended. It's all rubber and looks unlike the typical SB Blazer midsole, kind of looks like the Chuck Taylor midsole, with a little bit of it overlapping on the toe area. We have the signature, the 10 insole in these sneakers with the iconic off-white Crossroads logo or whatever it's called. The shoe came with 4 sets of laces essentially, came with the white ones laced in, then green, orange, and black in the box. Y'all know I love extra laces. All of them have the text shoelaces printed in quotations at the ends. The shoe also came with the red off-white zip tie, as all of their products do. I just decided to get rid of it as soon as I got the shoes out of the box. When it comes to comfort, you should know what to expect. It's a classic Nike shoe with a flat outsole, most likely has a Nike Air bubble encapsulated in the rubber outsole, hence the Nike Air branding. It's not an uncomfortable shoe by any means, and oftentimes I do enjoy just the feel and wear of classic shoes like this. It's even more justified because these classic silhouettes are more stylish and hold more swag factor than most new sneakers, especially high tops. Y'all know I'm a sucker for high tops, and the elongated tongue just adds that much needed punch to the look of the sneaker. This is a detail I thoroughly appreciate Virgil for including in all the sneakers, because as sneakerheads who are into classic sneakers, I know just how bad you and I wanted to pop those tongues and have them sticking out of our shoe. But the length would be too short, as it was meant to be only as long as the sneaker, and we had to find other ways to make it stand out. With these, you don't have to do that, as it's longer than the shoe, it's already elongated, so it already sticks out. Now onto how I got these. For those that don't know, I live in Canada and damn near nobody, no store, nothing, nobody got these. The only store that got them was Haven, and they raffled everything off. The Off-White Toronto store got them as well, but let's not get into that. As per usual, I won nothing from Haven. The only other Canadian release was on Nike.ca, and they released 3 sneakers at once every 15 or 30 minutes. I forget what the times were, but the first 3 were the Jordan 1s, the SB Blazer, and the Hyperdunk. There were rumors saying the Jordan 1s were well stocked, but everything else wasn't, so I went into the situation with low to no expectations aside from maybe copying the Jordan 1. I get on the site, try adding all 3 to cart one by one, and within the first 5 minutes, I somehow got the SB Blazers and the Hyperdunks in my cart. Boy, I checked out that cart right away, no hesitation. Don't ask me how I did it, I don't know. I just happened to get my first W on Nike in like 2 years. With that being said, hope you enjoyed the video. If you took anything from it, please hit that like button. I really like this collection and I'm happy with the way these kicks turned out on feet. But I want to know what you guys think about these shoes, the collection, Virgil Abloh, anything in the comment section below. I'll catch you later. Picsoleated, out.